Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 16th, 7 o'clock. We're opening our Community Preservation Committee meeting. We're doing a split Zoom and in person. Welcome, everyone. Tonight with us, we have Dave Spina, Beth Thomas, Chris Pratt, Brian Walker, and Dave McWilliams. Sabrina Pooler is here as our coordinator. And just here we go. So we're going to look at, do we have any public comment? We'll start with that public comment. I like to start that way. Anyone? Anyone on Zoom?
Their hands would go up, they would show up, right?
Yep. Okay, and they can, I'll take questions from them as well during the process. So, okay. All right, new business. We have the Morehouse application, some timber replacement, some siding and trim repair, also some painting to finish it off. We have seen the application has been mailed out to us. We have Pat Odiorn here to tell us about that, and others, I believe, they want to speak. They're all signed in, but you'll still have to state your name when, so even though that we know you, for the record. Okay.
So my name's Pat Odiorn. I'm the treasurer right now, and I filled out the application as best I could, reorganized it, and I submitted it. Now, when I looked at the website, it had the Southwick Congregational Church application on there, on the website.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit worried because we have bids for the work.
Yeah, we took that off.
Right. Well, in between the time that I brought it and the time that somebody let me know that, I did not put in the bids. So
okay.
So here they are. And also in this packet is another letter of support from the Southwick Historical Commission that we just got last Monday when they met. So this is everything.
So is this is for the Morehouse, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of, it should be made part of the application. Sure. And had I been aware
we can just read it
that it wasn't going on the website, it would have been in the packet. So I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Website's a work under progress.
Yes, we're
right.
redoing everything. So
right, but we didn't want to prejudice people who might want to bid after we had those initial ones.
Correct.
You know, it would be
we can go $100 less.
That's right, and it wouldn't be fair.
It's like on the Price is Right or whatever.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be fair. So that's that.
All right, and the total estimate. Estimates are here listed.
Right. We have 2 for the whole job and 1 just for the painting.
Okay.
So we'll have to choose which way we jump. But the painting would be additional anyway. The construction
carpentry and painting are 2 different animals.
That's correct.
What is your application asking for funding for both?
Yes. Including both, so that it's going to look perfect,
right,
and waterproof and sealed so that it won't have difficulties in the near future.
Doesn't this qualify for that extra money that we talked about the last meeting? Because it is exterior. You remember we brought it up for the church, but they said churches were not
exempt. Was that an extra state grant? Or
so they would cover, I believe it was a half of it, up to $2,000 or $3,000 or something like that.
Well, that wouldn't be half of it. But that's something else you could look into.
What source of funding was this?
I can't remember off the top of my head, Lee, but we can get that to you, and dollar amounts can be amended at any time.
So we
Even-
we can double it.
Well, I mean,
Except for that. Understand.
yeah, within reason, things can be amended even on the floor at the meeting. So there's enough of why if another funding source does become available, you know, that this number could be amended or,
Right.
you know, from us anyway, not that number, but the amount you're asking for can be amended. But has everybody had a chance to look through the application that Sabrina sent out? The pictures were very helpful. Did you take those, Lee, or? Yeah,
Yes.
they were very helpful. I mean, they show the deterioration of the building itself and the need. It shows the warped boards and the rot.
Yeah.
And this is a historical house in town, and therefore would qualify for funding from historical.
I have a curiosity
Yeah.
question. The budget is 34,205 and you're asking us for 29,075. Where are you getting the difference?
Our own funds.
Okay.
They're not being greedy. Good.
No,
A little bit of skin in the game.
Okay, Marcus Phelps.
Marcus Phelps, 28 Depot Street. I'm also on the board of directors of the Historical Society. And I mentioned the quotes we were able to get for the carpentry. It's a challenge getting people that can do the historical restoration types of work. And that may have been mentioned in the application. But I know Lee has searched high and low. And it's a challenge to find people that are able to do that kind of work. And that's, of course, what we want to do on the Moore house. We want to keep it as historically accurate as possible. So
Right,
it's not just like a general contracting job.
right. And Lee did mention that in the application. And I know we've spoken on the phone before about what DOR requires for restoration of historical places. So he's well aware and evident here. So appreciate that as well. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or?
I have a
Comments?
question. You said that there is a tenant also living there?
Yes, we have an L, the newer part of the house. It was built in the 1840s. And we have a tenant who pays us rent, and we use the rent to pay the mortgage and the insurance. And
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we own a
Supplement.
house, so we have all
Yeah.
those expenses of a
Yeah.
house. So,
Is that
and it's very good that we have somebody there.
right?
So that it's
They can watch the house.
safer for the property.
Right.
Is that considered affordable housing?
Could be.
I don't know what they're charging, so
Would,
it could be, but it falls under historical either way.
right, I'm just thinking,
So-
could they possibly use the housing funding as well, split it?
I don't think we need to. I
Okay.
think there's plenty of money in historical to cover
Okay,
what
I
they're
think you have
asking.
to show cause for
Yeah.
it to be affordable housing. I'm sure there's a list of criteria that.
And I think also it has to be affordable for like
for,
many, like
Yeah.
people like a,
forever or something.
right, in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
all right, it's a good
Appreciate
question.
being able to answer the
Yeah.
question. Yeah, yeah.
Any more questions or concerns, comments? All right, then I will take a motion if anyone so chooses.
I will make a motion to accept the project.
I'll second that.
Okay, we're gonna do a roll call vote. Have a
Dave
first and a
Spina,
second.
aye.
Beth Thomas, I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Brian Walker, aye.
Dave McWilliams, aye.
Okay, passes flying colors. Thank you very much
Wonderful.
for coming in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Keep your fingers crossed at town meeting.
Right?
We'll be there in force.
Yes,
Good luck.
bring your friends.
Goodbye.
Let's hope it was like last night's town meeting.
And
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness,
Lord.
the quickest ever. That was very nice.
I don't think the seat got warm.
Oh, we got there a little late, left a little right at the bell, so. Very nice. All righty. Okay, we have some old business, old cemetery shed restoration. Nobody else is here for that tonight, correct? So I spoke to Gene a little bit. And he's decided to leave this evening, but I don't know if there's anybody else here. I think their course of action might be to be bringing in a new application for some of the things that were under question. This might be the easiest route since they're not going to be doing the work until next year anyway. But they also had some other things that they wanted to put on. They had a phase 3, so they might wrap everything together into one application.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Okay.
Not that we're not looking for content during these meetings, but you know, it's simplify it, you know.
Nice too. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna review the new CPC application. Did anybody have an opportunity to check that out? I know Dave and Sabrina have been doing a lot of work on that. I've seen some revisions.
Couple red marks on there that.
Well, there are, yeah. So we can go over a few of those things. Sabrina will put them up on the board.
There's only 2 red marks from that state.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking good. We still have to do some boxes, Dave. Is that the,
Yeah,
just fine tuning, right?
I took a stab at one
Yeah.
form. I just put fillable, PDF check boxes and text
Right.
boxes and whatnot, just to see if it would work.
Yeah.
That's not October 19th.
My skills are not great, the text, the individual boxes
Yeah.
are not identical or lined up per se, but
I know sometimes before I input like a grid or what do you call it? But I just put one box in, stretched it out. I don't know if that's expandable though. That's the problem with that.
I did one. I mean, you can stretch them out and make them, you can size whatever you want. The hard part is there's no like if you use PowerPoint, you can snap things to a grid or something like
Correct.
that and actually get them aligned to things like that. I haven't found that feature.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
One question I had is under step 1, and I know it was like a PDF that I was looking at, but when it has is our project allowable, Community Preservation Coalition, the stuff that's underlined, I'm assuming those are hyperlinks to documents that are.
And I did test them.
Oh, they did. Okay, good.
You
Yeah.
said under step 1.
Yeah.
Right there. I think
Yeah.
that's
Those are
right
just
there.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those bring you to the project applicability for under CPA.
There we go.
Yeah. The
Yes, no, yes, no.
correct. So let's move down to number 4 in step 2. Complete the certificate of non-collusion. Do we find anything out about that? Do we need that? We've never had it before.
I sent an email to town council
Yes.
on the 3rd and I've gotten nothing back.
So can we talk about what it is first before whether or not we decide whether or not we need it? I mean,
Right.
what is it?
Looks like you guys made one already. Wasn't there that one of the attachments?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is one.
there is one.
Yeah, but we don't know. Because what happened was, as I peer poached a lot of this from different places that already had online applications and made it more amenable to what we need here in Southwick. But we're not really sure of this part. I left it in because it seemed important. I
It does seem important.
but you would,
Well,
You-
collusion's a bad thing.
it is,
Right? You know,
right.
but I'm just wondering, just reading through it. I'm not sure what legs it has.
Right. But I will, I think that part came from the town of Agawam.
Yeah.
So. Maybe we could
I
call
know
over.
what's going on over in
That's what
Agawam,
happens. There's so much collusion, they need a form.
right? You promise not to do it now.
Right, right. Okay, so let's go to the next red. We'll delve more into that.
Where is the next red? Is there more
I
red?
don't know. There-
Oh, the threshold, yeah.
I thought you had the answer for that.
But how do you want me to write it? And
Yeah, okay.
so here's the thing is that there's a couple of different numbers.
It's just
Um,
informative.
Except, and here it says. Amount of 10,000 or greater, but not more than 50,000,
I'd write it just like it is,
just like this is,
Oh, okay.
like you have, like
Like-
the law says.
like the law says?
Yeah,
Okay, so I can copy the law.
yeah, put it right in there. That's all we want is people to be aware of how quotes need to be done.
I don't understand the
Either
difference
law.
between the under 5 and 5 to 25. They seem like they're the same thing. They get 3 quotes.
What's
No, one is under 5,
Right.
one is more than 5 and under 25. But then the other one's over 25.
No, I think what, and Brian, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think what he's saying is the requirements seem to say the same for both.
But you need 3 quotes. for
And I
both.
think under.
Oh, I
five,
see what
you
you're
don't
saying.
need
Correct,
quotes.
right, and that's what the law says, I believe.
So it says
Here, look at the
under
law.
5, 3 quotes are detailed and fully explain cost estimates for the contract. I don't believe that's required under 5. I think it's required for 5 and above. It seems like 5 and 5 to 25 say the same requirement.
Well, it says or detailed for under 5, so you could have either. Whereas 5 and up, you need 3 quotes.
Yeah, I mean. Doesn't say anything about 5 on here at all.
Right,
So we can zap that right
Yeah.
out there.
do you want to zap the 5?
Yeah.
The under 5, you mean?
The under 5,
The under 5. Says
If you're under
10,000 or
5,
greater,
then-
but not more than 50,000. A procurement officer shall seek the written quotations of no fewer than 3 persons customarily providing a service, a supplier service. The procurement officer shall record the names, the addresses, blah, 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 blah.
so this
Okay.
just says from 10 to 50, right?
Right,
Doesn't say anything in between. Or what's the 35,000?
procurement officer who follows a sound business practice may award contracts which include individual purchases of less than 35,000 to Massachusetts farm operations. So that's a whole different thing for
Okay.
farms.
So then it goes 5,000 to 24,999, and then it goes 25 or more.
Yeah, I would just put this in there.
Just this
Just-
one,
yep.
so 3 quotes basically
Yeah.
from
10,000
10 to 50.
Works over 50.
Then it's no big deal. Do you
Does
know?
this impact our application at this?
No.
point?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
No. This is a state law. We're not making anything new for the application. This is just something that's always been.
So we can get rid of the competitive sealed bids or proposals for contracts of 25 or more.
That doesn't sound right. Is it
What
50 or more?
something must happen about 50,
Right.
right? I don't know.
We'll do some more,
Dude, it
but we'll
doesn't
do
read-
some more research into that. We won't make that a final vote tonight on that
I
either.
think that's.
Okay. So do more research.
Right.
Standard.
County commissioners.
We
Yeah.
found
Well,
some things, but then that's the law. And I want to say the CP.
I say that paper doesn't clear up any questions for me.
Right? I think I sent it to you. I'm like, is this what we're talking about?
So-
And you're like,
so what
yeah.
happened-
Well, as I saw what it said on the top, but then I didn't read all the way through. But you know, you can just ask Carl Steinhardt, he would know. Town does all, this is all town business, all done the same way.
Okay.
Okay, and anything else besides,
Mentioned
Let me-
seafood, but it doesn't. say
Formatting?
over 50 grand.
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't, yeah.
Mhm.
See if there's
I
any
think
more
I think we
red.
just add some formatting.
That was it for the red. Formatting, what's wrong with formatting?
Well, Dave was just gonna put the boxes in.
So that'd be if we're happy with them as they are, I figured, but once we.
Yeah.
Like them all, I can make PDFs that will be fillable.
Yep.
The only thing about them is, cause I was looking through as we were going through, we're having it so they're printing off hard copies and sending them in. At least on one of those, the PDF box, once you can type in more than the PDF box actually has space for.
Mhm.
And it will just kind of
Cut it off.
It'll cut it off. You won't see it in the print. There's a, slide.
Right, you'll be able
see the rest of
to,
it.
right, but that won't be good for
electronically,
printing.
But you won't see it for printing. So if we want to do the printing, which is totally cool, you can put like character limits in a box.
I was gonna
You can
say.
only put in
Right,
however many thousand characters it is that you can.
Right.
fit, so.
that's a great idea.
Yep.
It's on just about every form I've seen.
No. But once we're, I figure once we're
It
done,
also
that's
references, and
pretty easy.
I circled this, it references section
That'd be awesome.
of the law. So
Yep.
you might want to just go back and see what it says. It may lead you to the over 50,000.
Okay,
All right. Because it says a government body may require any procurement in an amount of not more than 50 to be subject to section 5. So section 5 may go on to the next amount.
let me just scroll down.
It would be so nice if they would break the law down into like a graph form.
Yeah.
$5 grand? Okay.
I'd be happy if it was just English.
Exactly.
Oh, that'll be nice.
5,001 to 25,000.
Lawyer speak version,
3.
human speak version.
Right.
So do we want the certificate of non-collusion?
We're gonna leave it there for now.
Leave it there for now.
Yep.
What do we need to do?
We gotta figure out what it is
Yeah, we're gonna,
Okay,
right,
and is it necessary?
And we got a NAG council.
okay.
I mean, usually that's an understood thing, but if you put it on the application, then it becomes more apparent, and I think people are knowing that you're looking into this kind of practice.
Okay.
But- Okay, we'll move on from there.
You want to look at?
We're getting closer.
Hold on.
Mhm.
What's
What about
that?
the other forms? Are they okay?
The other forms are fine,
The
yeah.
other- So
Expense reports.
Mhm.
all that's all right,
Yeah,
enough lines and everything.
I think there are more than enough lines.
Receipt of
Hopefully there are more than
applications,
enough lines.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Are you good with it? You're the one
I
that
mean,
has to read them all.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone else is reading it too, right?
Well, they better be, right?
Mhm.
Reading what?
Reading what?
All right. So a few more little things to tie up on that. We're way closer than last time.
Okay,
Okay, any project updates that we have, Sabrina, or anything that we know about?
no project updates that I know of.
Isn't the farm signage done? No, I've seen them up.
It is done. That's completed. I haven't yet asked Laura to return the funds for phase 1, phase 2 of the historical documents.
Okay,
So I'm not sure if I'm waiting for meeting minutes, or maybe I already did. I don't know. I can't remember it right now.
all right.
But that would be the next thing, and I think after that, current projects would be updated. And that could be striked off. Just to make, just to make sure that those funds are returned back into the general
Correct.
CPC fund.
All righty. David, do you have mock-up of
What?
CPC sign?
What?
Do
Can you
we?
pull up the email I sent you?
Ooh, yes, when did you send that?
Today.
You did?
Yeah.
It'll be easier to find that way.
How do I access my email?
Go to your other screen.
So just kind of getting into it. I think it was it. Right. So there's two. Well, that's
Yeah.
just not good. That's just not good. So we're looking at two different signs, right? Two different types of signs. One is the sign that we display while a project is in progress, right?
Okay,
Stating that the funds are at work for this project. And then the second sign was more of like a plaque that we were looking to have remain with whatever project was done, stating that CPC funds were used to help fund that project, right? So as people throughout go through the town, they see where the money that they're paying into this fund gets used for. So the first one, and these, I got quotes from Southwoods, and the first one we're looking at like a 3x4 foot sign, and it's that corrugated plastic you see on like a lot of the
lawn signs for political.
So my intent is to build like a foldable A-frame that we can put outside of these projects
and redo
with one on each side, one of the signs on each side, one of the posters. And as the projects move, we obviously just fold it up and move it from one place to the other. So the quote for I asked for a quote on 4 of those so we could have 2 separate A-frames that we can move around town. The quote for those is $350 for the signs, and then $59.85 for the setup. I'll build the A-frames. That's not an issue. I'll just use 1 by or 2 by 3, you know, something pretty durable, paint them up, and I could build those. So while you're pulling that up, Sabrina, if you can't find it, I have pictures of what he sent to me.
I'll be able to find it.
So if you guys can just. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How big were those?
3 by 4.
No. 3 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah. And essentially, if you look at the handout I just passed out, the upper right-hand corner is the sign that was mocked up by Southwoods for us. And it's basically the town seal. And it says CPA funds at work. The project funded by the citizens of Southwick through the Community Preservation Act, preserving and protecting the quality of life for our community with the SouthwickMA.org website. Okay. We can determine what colors we would like to see that in. We want it in white with black lettering. Do we want, he proposed, I'm not even sure what color that is.
Mustard.
But that's the color he proposed.
Honey mustard.
I don't know if I love that.
The golden.
You know, the master plan committee's got a pretty good, that color scheme, that green, yellow, and white.
Yeah,
you know,
well, it is kind of the town colors, or at least the school's colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll work with him to change the colors, but that's kind of the layout that he was thinking. But obviously, we have editorial review on this. So if you think it should be formatted differently, now's the time for your input.
I think it looks pretty
I
good.
think it looks great other than mustard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So David, it says quantity 4.
Yeah.
So that's
So you can use 2 per sign though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna have 2 sets.
2 sets of those,
Right.
because I'm not sure if we'll have more than 2 projects
Projects going
going
on
on
at the
at
same
any
time.
given time, and each project would have one of those signs.
Yeah.
If we needed to order more, we would just order
Right.
more, right?
exactly.
So, I'll have him mock up with the colors that are more appropriate towards Southwick, and I'll send that off to Sabrina, and she could circulate it amongst the group. And we can kind of go from there. We did get 3 bids because it's under $5,000. They just want to
Ooh,
throw that
thank
out
goodness.
there, okay? So, and nothing was sealed.
I'm okay with any color you pick as long as it's nothing that a refrigerator from 1972 came in.
Okay.
All right?
Green's out.
No avocado, no mustard, no, yeah.
Right. So the other one was getting a plaque, right? And I think when we initially looked at it in the example that we saw, it was a solid brass plaque, right? come to find out, those are pretty darn expensive,
Hmm.
right? And I could tell you, so I've gotten a couple of quotes. He has a quote for a, say, 10 by 14. It's an aluminum plaque, and he's quoting $612 per unit, which I think is
Expensive.
really high,
Yeah.
right?
Metal signs are not cheap.
Yes.
Agreed.
Well,
Agreed.
I mean, the one you have near your house that, where the canal was, is that,
Okay.
do you know anything about that sign?
That is simply what, just a painted sign or
It's sheet metal.
vinyl lettering. I mean, it
Okay.
seems to be holding up just fine.
Yeah, I think it
It's
looks
on,
pretty sharp
what,
too.
aluminum?
Yeah, and what
Nice.
we're looking at is raised brass.
Yeah.
Here, more of what you would see in like a
Yeah, like
memorial
a-
park.
Right.
And it's stamping,
Well, it's cast, actually,
right?
you know, so I'm waiting on a couple of other quotes. I've seen 8 by 10 for as low as $285. And think about, these are gonna be built into the cost of the project, I think we discussed, and they're gonna be there for perpetuity. So I think something for $285, if we can get it, I don't think that's a bad deal. Cast aluminum for the same size, which again would be raised letter brushed aluminum with probably a black background or whatever color background.
Mhm.
They can go 175 to 435. So I'm waiting to get more detail on,
Okay.
on those. But yeah, they're expensive, you know, and on this form, I put just this project generously supported by the people of Southwick through our Community Preservation Fund. If there's additional verbiage that you think should be on there, something that should be changed. I've seen some towns actually do them specific to the project itself. You know, this 2019 renovation was generously supported by the people of Southwick. I mean, we could do that since we're gonna be doing them project by project. We can actually make them a bit more personalized.
I think that might be a decent idea, because if you just have a generic thing,
You don't know.
years from now, people go, what was the project?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so I think, you know, you're basing it, the cost is always gonna be based on the size of the plaque. And I think that the number of characters, like your text box, you're limited to a certain number of characters. If you go beyond that, you know, there's a little bit of an upcharge.
Yeah.
So I think every one is going to be a little different,
Mhm.
but I will get a better overall general cost for
Like a
these.
range.
Yeah.
And every time we get a new project, I don't mind going through that process. Once we find a really good vendor to getting an absolute quote for the project as they're about. It's not that big a deal. It's all online.
I like what this says, but I do think the year, right? I think that would be nice.
Yeah. I agree. I gave him that kind of generic one just so that he can get us a price. But I still think for the brushed aluminum, $612 is kind of expensive, so we'll look elsewhere for that.
Putting the town seal on would be a lot more, I assume.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. If you want to add an image, yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of the update on those. If we like the way the sign itself works, we'll work on the, like I said, work on the colors. I'd like to get those ordered relatively quickly because there are a couple of upcoming projects. And it would be great to have those signs out in front of those projects while the work's being done.
Absolutely.
Right. The plaques themselves, I mean, I don't want to say they're a long-term thing. But they're not an immediate concern.
You don't need them to the end of the project.
Exactly.
Now, so the maintenance side of me is gonna say, are they gonna pre-drill the holes so that we can drill them into the side of the building, or are we gonna have somebody out there with a drill?
Well, I don't know. That's a good point.
That's a great
I
point.
think we would ask that they come pre-drilled. I mean, drill
But if
holes-
you don't ask, see, this is one of the things I'm finding out through what I do, but if you don't ask, you don't get it, and then you go,
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't want you to forget it.
I won't forget.
Okay.
I would suggest
We
that,
know where she lives.
there be discretion as to where it be mounted, because, you know, if you have a historic house, you don't necessarily want.
No,
You have one or two or three
Correct.
different, you
No.
know, bronzy aluminum plaques, you know, scattered over the house.
Right.
You may have a place, you know, inside the entryway
Yeah.
that, you know, makes sense.
Yeah.
For the general public.
Mhm.
Or even a place outside, you might put a kiosk or something with a mountain on
Yeah.
it, so it's not really taking away from
Yep.
the historic value of the house or whatever you're doing.
That's my update.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very nicely done. Thank you for all of your work on that. Plan update. Anybody have a plan update?
I don't.
Okay, you can skip that.
Okay.
Right.
As far as community preservation plan, I think we're gonna, you know, cruising along where we are is not a bad thing. You know, we don't create wishes and hopes and dreams. That comes from the applicants. But we need to make sure that we're getting the word out to applicants to come in for projects.
Yep.
So that might be part of what our goal is.
Yeah.
Is to make sure that people know that we're here for funding for those types of projects.
I did update the sign over by the bank, the town crier,
Mhm.
saying that the deadline for applications was December 31st, and I think I asked Jim to do like an announcement on the website.
Great.
I'm not sure if he did that though, but
It's good to check up on.
yeah.
Not a bad
Well,
idea.
I know they've done updates because they have the food drive on there, and that's a recent addition, so
Okay,
I don't know when you asked him, but if he did,
it was
wholesale
a couple
update,
weeks
then
ago.
probably.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Sure.
Any new mail?
Nope,
And so we also have our minutes to approve.
Yep.
Or not approve. I don't think there's ever been minutes that haven't been approved.
start together.
Well, there's been minutes that have had to go after because they're on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There have.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's a
so,
different story.
yes, we won't go into that.
Hold on, how do I do the chat? Chat. So chat. Can I do that?
If you want to.
Right. Oh, Deb Harath asks, have you put something in Southwoods looking for applications? No, I haven't, Deb. How do I get rid of the chat?
Okay, have people had a chance to look over their minutes? They have any comments, concerns, questions, amendments?
Very detailed.
Is that bad?
No, it's good.
No,
Okay.
I was not here, so it could all be lies.
well, you can't vote.
I'm not voting.
You can make recommendations on grammar and spelling, punctuation. things
No,
like
I would
that.
never do that.
No other comments.
I like the fact that I couldn't find any. I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah,
Sabrina.
Oh, great.
right. Yeah, I'll take a motion on the minutes of. What was that meeting?
I make a
October
motion to
19th.
approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Dave Spina, aye.
Beth Thomas, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Brian Walker, aye.
Dave McWilliams abstain.
Thank you, Dave. I'll be passing this around. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to bring up at this time? Anybody out in the audience? Oh, we have a hand.
Let me just figure out how to. unmute. This is Linda.
You're muted, you're muted.
No, sir.
Can you click on her?
I think she's, are you unmuted?
Oh,
I hope that, can you hear
there
me?
you go. There
That's
you go.
great. Well, I don't want to rub it in, but I'm talking to you from Florida, so I hope you're nice and warm up there tonight.
So you just have to say your name and your Southwick address.
Okay, I'm Linda Schomer. I live at 22 Winfield Circle in Southwick. And a few things. Thank you for accepting our application from the Southwick Historical Society. Currently, I'm serving as president, and this small little organization is full of enthusiasm for the town. And I just, if you've not been to our museum, I hope you'll come next season when we open up again. And during the year, you know, we probably do 6 monthly programs plus the Spirit Walk, which we just finished in the cemetery. If you've not done that, that's kind of an interesting thing. And lots of people, hundreds and hundreds of people have come through for us. So it's really great. And then in the summer, from May to October, we're open twice a month, I'm sorry. And we've got some interesting things coming up next year. Just wanted to let you know, just as an encouragement to come and visit. We've been working with, you may or may not know, with Granville and with Westfield, so that we're going to do a history tour come the fall of the various resources of those communities. Our monthly programs that we're doing from May to October, we're now scheduling, in addition to the docent-led tours of both the house and the cigar factory, we're going to have some demonstrations and speakers. We've already lined up one gentleman who has engines, single cylinder engines from the 1900s, which should be pretty interesting to see. And we're going to do mornings at the museum for children next summer is one of the things that we're going to be working on as well. So we just are thrilled to be part of the community. And I love the idea of the sign, because what we're doing with the Community Preservation Act funds is so incredible in so many different ways. And I hope that you spread the word out to the whole town, that we have those types of opportunities to increase and enrich the lives of the people of the town. So I just love that idea of that traveling tripod sign. So kudos for that idea, whoever came up with that. That's just a fabulous. I was thinking that if we're able to get this grant and do the repairs that we need to do on the Morehouse, we'd have to make a sign, because I think we should have a sign. We had a sign before when we did the cigar factory, thanking the people for the town for the opportunity to move the cigar factory. And, you know, we were planning to do it again. So the fact that you've already are 2 steps ahead of us is just fabulous. I'm thrilled that not only hopefully our project, but other projects in the future will have the attention of the citizens to know that this is where, you know, their hard-earned tax dollars are going. Thank you for your hard work, each of you. I wish I knew you all personally, but when we get back, maybe I can come and visit you often, you know.
That's fine. We appreciate your comments.
I have a question for the Historical Society. It seems like every 3rd day on South Long Yard, people are out there metal detecting. What in the heck are they looking for?
At our property?
No, on South Long Yard, and I stopped and talked to these. The fields are full of people out there with metal detectors, and they're saying they're grabbing stuff for the Historical Society. Are you guys getting inundated with dirty artifacts?
Well, we've had some, but not that I'm aware of. In fact, Pat can speak to that too.
Jeremiah Ferris has been working on that type of work for quite a while. And he was on the properties of John Wally.
Yeah.
And John said that anything that he found would be, he wanted to be given to the Southwick Historical Society. And he made a shadow box and was all set to give it to us, and then COVID messed us up. So there is a shadow box coming from Jeremiah. I can't say for anybody else who's doing that type of work, but he is giving us the things that come out. they find coins and all sorts of things. One of the fellows found a note bottle that said Peter Peterson, Southwood, Mass.
Wow.
And we didn't know that there was a Peter Peterson dairy, you know, and we did some research on
Neat.
that. They find all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's
thank you.
as much as I can help you.
Appreciate the info. Very well. Anybody want to say goodnight or are we gonna stay here?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Nice one.
A second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You don't need a roll call for that, right? Good night.
Okay, meeting's adjourned at 7:47 PM.